Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, she was beautiful and privileged. But now...
I use heroin every couple hours.
She's addicted and pregnant.
I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
She's my sister. How could she do this to a baby?
It gets worse.
Right now, she is really high.
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game, or you're out. Nikki, come on out. When was the last time you shot up?
This morning.
What are you escaping from?
The wreckage of what I've left from getting high.
You don't have to face any of the wreckage. You left that town. Everybody hates us now. I'm the one that has to suffer.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Okay, I want you to meet Sharon. She was married to a wealthy stockbroker, and they had 2 beautiful daughters together, Nikki and Samantha. Now, Nikki was a straight-A student and captain of the cheerleading squad. So how did she go from a shining star and a freshman at Wake Forest University to living in a van and shooting up drugs every day? Now, Mom Sharon wrote to me desperate for my help, and she doesn't even know the half of what is really going on. Nikki is 8 months pregnant, and she is heroin 5 to 6 times a day. Now, Sharon is going to see some horrific and graphic video of her daughter Nikki today, and she's not hearing all this that we're talking about right now. Let's hear what Mom has to say about her oldest daughter.
Growing up, Nikki excelled at everything. Academics, sports. She was the captain of the varsity cheerleading squad.
Nikki and I, we were always really close. She was beautiful, she was motivated, she was smart.
Nikki was admitted to her top college choice, Wake Forest University. She received a scholarship.
She had everything going for her. She did heroin once, and that was it. She was hooked.
My daughter Nikki is addicted to heroin and has been for 7 years. Now all that she seems to excel at is being a drug addict. Her heroin addiction has completely taken over her life. She has dropped out of college and has completely dropped out of her family's lives.
I feel like my sister's soul definitely left her body.
The most painful part of it was watching her slip away and knowing I couldn't do anything.
I've tried to confront her about her drug use, and it doesn't mean anything. Nothing gets through to her.
She'll go to rehab, she'll stay clean, she'll be doing great for 8 months, or maybe a year, or even a little more than a year, and then something will happen and she'll fall right back.
It breaks my heart, and it makes me angry that I don't have a sister.
2 years ago, Nikki met her current boyfriend, Jesse, and they packed up and moved to Florida. My daughter's cut off all communication with me. I call her every day. She never calls me. Have you talked to her?
I haven't talked to Nikki in 2 years.
Yeah.
She doesn't answer me. My fear is if things don't change, I'm gonna be having to visit her at her grave. My
daughter, Nikki, is a heroin addict, and I feel that asking for Dr. Phil's help is our only chance to save her life.
Okay, it's good to meet y'all. I'm sorry for the subject. I wish we were talking about something else. How bad do you think this is?
It's very, very bad. It's a dire situation.
Do you believe that your daughter's life is on the line?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe she's already been revived from overdoses.
What do you think?
I think my sister died a long time ago, and I'm just waiting for her to actually die.
You said you think her soul's gone.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. She excelled at everything.
Everything.
Right? I mean, she was a golden girl, like your other daughter here, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What happened?
That's why I'm here to see. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know. It happened so quickly. It happened right under our noses.
You had no idea. You did not see this coming.
Absolutely not.
I said a million times.
She's right.
Like,
I probably
she's my
did.
best friend. I begged my parents to just listen to me. I told them that she was on drugs. I knew she was. She's
That's
my
true.
sister. I begged them to listen to me, and they told me to shut up, that I was wrong. And I feel like partially guilty for everything that happened because I feel like I just begged them to listen to me, and nobody listened to me.
What did you say to him?
I said, she's on drugs. I said, she's on heroin. I said she's on heroin. I knew she was.
That's
She
true.
was not, she would not
I
out.
wouldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It would not enter my brain. I'm sorry. It just I couldn't.
Well,
couldn't.
that's why I'm asking you this,
Yeah,
because I
that's
know
true.
that. I know. It
Yeah,
wasn't
she's
that. You
right.
said it just happened right under our noses. I
Well,
didn't see it.
yeah.
You had your daughter coming to you
Yes,
saying,
that's true.
hey, wake up. Your
true.
daughter is on heroin. And you're like, oh.
It's true. It is true.
I mean, it's hard enough when they're hiding it from you. It's in their drawers. They're sneaking out. They're not doing it in front of you. You've got her sister, her best friend, her other half, coming and outing her. She's killing herself. She's pumping poison in her veins, and you refuse to hear it.
That's true.
I know it's true.
I didn't want to hear it.
Well, how about now?
Well, I've heard it a long time ago. I mean, you're talking, that was 7 years ago. I've known it. I mean, I know the truth now, obviously.
Well, let me tell you why I'm asking this. I'm trying to decide whether you need to be here or whether you don't. Because let me tell you something. How much do you watch the Dr. Phil show?
I have never missed an episode since you were on Dr. Phil Tuesdays on Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Okay.
Then you have to know, if she gets me involved in her life on drugs, I am her worst nightmare.
Well, that's what we need. That's what I need.
Okay? I will haunt her till the end of the world if that's what it takes. And you cannot get in my way.
I will not get in your way.
Because when I bring her out here and I start doing what I have to do with her, I can't have you getting soft-hearted and willy-nilly and enabling her and making excuses for her and explaining away her behavior. You did it with your daughter. You do it with me, and I will bounce your butt out of here faster than God could get the news. I'm just telling you straight up.
I know.
I'm just telling you. And I mean, no disrespect.
No, I'm not
I mean, no
offended, believe
disrespect. I think you guys are a fine family. I think you are a wonderful, nice person. I'm sure if we met out somewhere, Robin and I would be great friends of yours. But when it comes to this, I mean, you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And if you're part of the problem, I don't need an anchor around my ankle. You got to be willing to do whatever I need for you to do.
Okay.
I want to show you a day in the life of your daughter first.
Okay.
And then you will understand why I'm going to ask you to do some of the things I'm going to ask you to do. And you said you haven't seen her, you haven't talked to her, you haven't seen her, you haven't talked to her. Well, welcome to your daughter's world. Take a look.
I use heroin every couple hours. My dealer just pulled up outside. I just bought 3 caps from him. Right now, the average amount of heroin I use is about 1 gram a day.
Some people have their coffee, sugar, and a bagel. They're starting their day nice and fresh. When I smoke, that's how it makes me feel. Like your morning coffee is my morning of smoking a little hit of crack and then taking a hit of heroin. I shoot up at least like 5 or 6 times a day. We shoot up together all the time. We don't
Off
always
the tape. Okay, are you in or out?
I'm in. I just don't want to see that.
Okay, then look, I stopped this on national television. You're either going to watch this and get in the game or you're out.
I want to be a part of it. It's just hard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's hard. This is the reality. Your sister is going to be dead before Christmas if we don't make a change here. People hit threshold moments in their lives when they come to a precipice and they make choices. And sometimes those choices are life or death. This moment in time is a threshold moment for your sister. And you're either going to be part of it or you aren't. Now, are you in or are you out?
I'm in.
Then open your eyes, don't put your fingers in your ears, start that tape over, and both of you watch this and get the reality of what's going on. Roll the tape.
We shoot up together all the time. We don't always try to be together just in case anything were to happen to us.
I looked for any vein I could find. If I had one that was working earlier, I usually just stick with it. Where we're staying now is a vacant apartment. It's the first time we've had a place with a lock on the door and with power. This is the nicest thing we've had so far. We have an indoor plumbing. Before that, we were sleeping in an abandoned house. We slept in a couple abandoned houses. I definitely blame myself for the way I'm living now. I chose to give up everything, and I chose to put drugs above everything else, and I also choose to not ask anybody for any help. My mom, she's been writing me Facebook messages, which I haven't really been seeing regularly or responding to, kind of just saying she misses the way things used to be. I just try to ignore and not even speak to my family so they don't have to see me this way. When I see the messages from my mom, I mean, it makes me feel guilty. I don't want to wind up dying having just done drugs, and I hope that there's more to my life than just doing drugs.
I'm sorry that that's the deal. But that's the deal.
I know that's a deal. I'm not surprised by any of it. Exactly what I expected to say.
And I'm here to tell you that ain't the half of it. There's so much more to this story. It gets worse.
The last time she went to jail, she just bailed her out.
I made a lot of mistakes. I'll be the first one to admit it.
Would you rather have her on a gurney in a morgue, or would you rather have her on a cot in jail? And later, when was the last time you shot up today?
This morning.
I'm so mad.
Really, really disturbing.
It's disgusting. Everybody hates us now because of you.
This situation is bad. She's pumping poison in her. They don't know what they're buying this on the street. They're not getting this from a pharmacy. They're buying this on the street. She has no idea whether it's got Drano in it. They have no idea what they're putting in their veins.
Nope.
I mean, look at her arm.
I saw her arm.
That's your daughter. And I know for you, Sam, you're thinking back to the times when, wow, you guys had so much fun. You're together in your house, in your room, and all of that. I don't know what's making her do the things that she's doing, but we're going to figure it out. But do you think she can continue this and continue to be alive?
Not for long.
I've spoken at her funeral before. She is a dead girl walking unless we do something about it. And there's one thing you need to understand: we never surrender to the disease. It's just like a tug of war, and we're on this end of the rope, and we don't ever drop our end of the rope. And that means we do whatever it takes. And if that means that if she wants to bust out of here and roll out of here, whatever it takes. I have private investigators in Miami that I will put on her ass, and every time she does a transaction, I'll have them call the police, and we'll bust her, and we'll put her in jail. And when she gets out of jail, I'll have them follow her till she does another transaction. We'll call the cops, we'll bust her, and we'll put her back in jail. And we'll see whether she wants to get off the drugs in a 6x8 cell cold turkey, or whether she wants to do this with medical supervision. But we're going to find out. And if she wants to go to rehab and go walking off, I'll have a detective follow her, and we'll call the cops, and we'll bust her ass again. Whatever it takes. You have to be willing to put your daughter in jail. The question, you think, I don't want to put my daughter in jail. Well, would you rather have her on a gurney in a morgue, or would you rather have her on a cot in jail? When you get down to some choices like that, it gets pretty simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I ask you, how serious are you? And how much do you understand that this is a life or death situation? Because whatever it takes is what we're going to do.
I'm in.
You in?
I'm in, but I think that the last time she went to jail, she just bailed her out, and I told her not to.
I did. That's true. One time I bailed her out of jail. And
It's because she only went to jail one time. If she went to jail
well, she went to
5
jail
times,
many
we would've
times. I
bailed
think
her
she
out
only
5
called me
times.
once to bail her out, though. That's true. I did bail her out, and it was a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes. I'll be the first one to admit it, but I think now I recognize that, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to enable her, and I'm not going to get her out of jail. I wish to God she was in jail today, yesterday, last week. I would know where she is. Sometimes I think she's dead in the woods.
Understand something? I know it's easier for me to say about not my daughter
I know.
than it is for you to do about your daughter.
I know.
That's why it's good that I'm here.
Yeah, I know.
I know it's not easy for a mother to do that about their daughter.
Yeah.
That's why you need somebody that's objective. I'm
Yep.
dispensable here.
Yes.
I really don't care whether she likes me or not. I don't have the need to be loved by strangers. She can hate me, think I'm the worst person in the world. I don't care. What I care is that she gets clean and alive and has a happy life.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that is objective and arm's
Absolutely.
length enough to make the hard calls. What I need is for you to not get in my way when
I will
do.
not.
And she's saying you bailed her out before. You need to tell me you won't do that
I
again.
promise I will not do
Because
that
let me tell you, you
ever
don't have,
again.
I don't know how much money you got, but you don't have enough bail money for the times I can put her in jail.
I don't have any, and not enough.
You ain't got that much bail money.
I agree. You're right.
Thank God.
Okay. I know more cops than you got money. All right, so we're going to meet who we're talking about. Sharon and Samantha know that Nikki is homeless. They know she's addicted to drugs, but they have no idea how bad things really are. Nikki is here. They're going to find out just how dire things have become after the break.
My greatest fear is that Nikki is possibly pregnant. 4 months ago, Jesse texted me that he thought that Nikki was pregnant, and I never heard another word from him about it.
And later,
Do you really want help, or do you just want to go back out on the streets?
No.
You said you wanted to get clean 1,000 times. You've come home, and then you just disappear again.
The last time I saw Nikki or spoke to Nikki was almost a year ago. I only talked to her for a few minutes. She didn't even call and say thank you when I bailed her out of jail. But at this point, all I know is that Nikki is living with Jesse in Florida, and that I assume they're just both using heroin. I have no idea how she supports herself. I have no idea where they live.
I don't know if she's living on the side of the road.
My greatest fear is that Nikki is possibly pregnant. 4 months ago, Jesse texted me that he thought that Nikki was pregnant, and I never heard another word from him about it.
All I know is that if she's still using heroin, it can't be anything good.
Sharon and Samantha know that 27-year-old Nikki is homeless, addicted to heroin, and living in Florida with her fiancé, Jesse. Now, they just saw a video of her using. They saw this for the first time because they haven't been around her. They haven't been there to see it. And I give them both credit. They're leaning forward at this point. They've opened their eyes. They're being realistic about what's going on. Samantha could barely watch it, but she did. Thank you. I'm sorry to make you do that.
Okay.
Now they suspect that she may be pregnant, but they don't know for sure. Well, you know, who does know? Are you ready to watch this tape without looking away? Because this is another piece of the story.
Yep.
So let's take a look at
try
this.
really hard.
All right.
I am pregnant. I definitely never thought about having kids. When I first found out I was pregnant, the first thing that I thought about was having an abortion. The price of an abortion would have been too high for me at that point. I didn't have the money.
She has like 3 more weeks. She's 8 months pregnant.
I've been in the hospital once since I've gotten pregnant. And it wasn't because I went in there on my own. I was sent to the hospital when I overdosed. So they sent me to see an OBGYN while I was there. If I did try to detox right now, I not only would I get very sick, but it's a huge risk for the baby. That can cause a miscarriage if you go into withdrawals while you're pregnant.
This is the same stuff that we had done before, and Nikki OD'd several times. And like, I hate going to this guy, I hate getting heroin from him, but it's like the best stuff out there. Right now, she is really high. She's gonna be okay. Like, once, like, when she starts getting bad is when you'll look on her lips. They'll start getting bluish, darker, like 4 times, 5 times that she OD'd. And I'm scared that I'm gonna lose her or lose the baby. So that's why I really, really need you, Dr. Phil, to help us.
That was disturbing.
I'm so mad. How could you do this to a baby? To your grandchild and my niece or my nephew is just suffering. I'm so mad at her.
Really, really disturbing.
It's disgusting.
What do you think about this? This is your child.
Dr. Phil, I can't even put into words to tell you what I think about it.
I need you to.
The words would be, it's horrifying. Imagine what your worst nightmare, if your worst nightmare is, waking up covered in tarantulas, then this is your worst nightmare. It's horrifying. Every second of every day is consumed with my thoughts of her. And she has not lived under my roof in 7 years. For 7 years, every day, every minute, every thought has been consumed with her. Only a little reprieve here and there over the 7 years where she was clean, maybe 1 year here, 1 year there. But that's not a lot of time for a reprieve in such a horrifying situation when you know what the reality of the situation is. In my mind, I always thought one thing. When I found out, when I confronted Nikki that she was doing heroin, and what I said to her was that, I looked right at her and I was sobbing, and I said, Nick, you will never get off this drug. Never. And it's what I said to her the first time 7 years ago that I confronted her. And here we are 7 years later, she's still not off of it, and I don't think maybe she will never get off of it, because deep down inside me, in my mind, when I hear that word heroin, it's a death sentence. If someone is on heroin, they're on it till they're dead, because they can't get off of it. Like you said, dead man walking.
You're wrong.
Well, I hope I am wrong.
Well, you're wrong.
Good.
You need to be wrong, or your daughter's
pray
dead.
to God I'm wrong.
You saw her.
That's how I feel,
with him
though.
holding her up in the hallway.
Yeah.
You
She
saw
was half
him.
dead.
That's her life.
That's her life.
Do you understand why I'm taking such a hard line here?
Yeah.
That's why I'm taking such a hard line here. I'm not in denial. I get this. Are you both ready to see her now?
Yeah.
All right, Nikki, come on out. Closed captioning provided by Sharon hasn't seen Nikki in over a year. It's been over 2 years for Samantha. Are you both ready to see her now?
Yep.
All right, Nikki, come on out.
Okay.
Dr. Phil.
Nikki.
All right.
Hi, Nick. It's so good to see you. Can I hug her?
Do whatever you want to do.
I mean, oh my God, you're pregnant. I can't get down. You don't have to get down. Hi, baby. I know, it's okay.
Thank you.
So, Nikki, we've been talking about you a fair amount, but mostly I've been talking about them. You're living in Florida now,
Yeah.
and you're doing drugs,
Yeah.
heroin,
Yeah.
just heroin.
Just heroin.
Why? Why are
Why?
you doing drugs?
Why am I doing drugs? If I knew the answer to that question, I probably wouldn't use them if I had a reason to. I mean, at this point now, it's really because I don't want to get sick at this point. But, you know, if I had a reason why I started, I probably would have avoided that reason or dealt with it better.
Why did you start?
I don't really know. I started using a little over 7 years ago with a boyfriend I was dating at the time. And I don't really have a good reason for why. There was not any good reason to start. Not like things were bad in my life.
And so now you're doing heroin every 2 or 3 hours?
About that. Yeah, every couple hours.
10 bags a day?
Yeah, I was saying like about a gram a day.
So at this point, you're doing it to keep from getting sick.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, you start having what symptoms?
Well, I would start detoxing. I'd be, go chills, nausea, diarrhea, fever, soreness. And then, the other thing is, like, as much as I would like to detox, the only places I was ever able to get in contact with in Florida don't really want to accept someone who's pregnant. They don't want you to detox when you're pregnant. They want you to go to a methadone clinic. So now that's another thing I have to, I don't know what would happen because I haven't let it get that far, but I'm not really even sure how it would start to affect the baby if I let myself start detoxing.
And your theory is taking street drugs would be better than taking medically supervised?
No, probably not better, but that's just what I was doing anyway.
Yeah. So when was the last time you shot up? Today?
This morning.
Is there a live baby inside of your stomach right now?
Yes. I saw a doctor 8 months, about a month ago.
Is that when you OD'd?
Yeah.
Do you plan on keeping this child?
Closed captioning provided by anything you want to say or ask your sister?
Do you plan on keeping this child? I mean, are you like... Is there a live baby inside of your stomach right now? Like, does it...
Yes.
It's crazy to me.
How do you know?
What was that?
Have you had an ultrasound?
Yeah, the last, not regular. I haven't had regular prenatal care. I saw a doctor 8 months ago, when I was about 7 months.
Is that when you OD'd?
Yeah.
They did an ultrasound on you when you OD'd?
Mm-hmm.
And the baby was alive then?
The baby was fine then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you've had no prenatal care at all?
Nope.
When did you find out you were pregnant?
When I was about 4 months pregnant. End of March, like I was about 4 months.
Is that when you were in jail?
Yeah.
You tried to call a free clinic, right? But there was a long wait, so you...
I called like the emergency helpline, whatever it is. It's like on the help for like addiction, homelessness, whatever it is in Florida. I called them, and they did give me an appointment. And the first available appointment, I took it, which is long after the baby is going to be born at that point. So basically, it was like, stay on the street until then, and then we can assess you for putting you in, into some sort of housing or something, and then we could assist you with care with the baby from then from that appointment.
So you do know that if the baby is born and survives, that the baby will be born addicted to heroin?
Yeah. I do know that, yes.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, honestly, I wish I found out sooner. I don't know if it would have affected anything. I don't even really know. I wasn't ever planning. I never thought about having kids. And if I ever had kids, it wouldn't be anytime soon at all. And if I was clean and if I was more stable, it wouldn't be so much of a question. That's the only reason it's a question, is because I'm so unstable. It's not fair. If I can't take care of myself, I don't want to dump a baby off on my family. It's not fair. It's not fair to the kid or to anybody.
You understand that you're poisoning this baby every time you shoot up, right?
Yes.
Do you know what can happen to this baby when it's been poisoned with these drugs all of this time and then is born addicted?
I mean, not firsthand. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's not a mystery. Take a look. Here's to give you a video of a drug-addicted baby. It's absolutely impossible to soothe the child. It's absolutely impossible to quiet the child. It's absolutely impossible to comfort the child because their system is so messed up. They seize, they tremor, it's just the reality.
Do you really want help, or do you just want to have a baby and then go back out on the streets?
No.
You said you wanted to get clean 1,000 times. You've come home and then you just disappear again. So are you just trying to have a baby in a hospital, or are you trying to actually get help?
Well, I would have a baby in a hospital regardless.
It's not regardless, because normal people live in houses and you don't live in a house, so don't say regardless. And yes, normal people do have their babies in the hospital, but you're clearly not a normal person.
I know that.
I'm not saying that in a mean way, but obviously.
I understand that. It's not the having a baby in a hospital. No, that's not what it is. If I wanted to just continue, I wouldn't have agreed to fly away from my comfort zone, and put myself in a situation where I took myself away from that. I would have stayed in Florida and kept using until I had the baby, if that's what I wanted to do. I would have just stayed there.
You don't have to face any of the wreckage of what you left from getting high. You left. Everybody hates us now. Nobody thinks about you anymore. We're the ones who still live there.
One good thing about being here is people see things. You see kind of your life on screen because you don't see yourself. Your family has seen a day in your life, and it's been shocking to them. I mean, just snip it. Take a look at yourself on drugs here. Just take a look. This is when you're almost overdosed here, and your fiance is taking care of you here.
Right now, she is really high. She's gonna be okay. When she starts getting bad is when you'll look on her lips. They'll start getting bluish, darker, like 4 times, 5 times that she OD'd. And I'm scared that I'm gonna lose her or lose the baby.
What do you think about that?
I've never seen it, obviously. I kind of don't, obviously when I imagine the way I don't imagine things, you know, I see them through the way I think things are going when I'm high. So obviously it's
there you go.
Exactly.
Well, how do you think things are going when you're high?
Well, obviously I have no idea when I'm like that.
Well, what do you think? Like, what do you think when you get high? What do you feel? What do you think? Because that's what you see. They're like dead.
Well, that's usually, I mean, I try not to think anything. That's usually the whole point, kind of not to have to think about anything. That's kind of, you know, when things, that's my escape from everything. When things are bad, okay, well, I'll get high. I don't have to remember it for a while.
What are you escaping from for the last 7 years?
Now it's basically just the wreckage of what I've left from getting high, because now it just gets
You don't
worse
have to face any of the wreckage of what you left from getting high. You left that town. Everybody hates us now. Nobody thinks about you anymore. We're the ones who still live there. My elementary school teachers hate me because of you. I'm the one that has to suffer. Stop trying to protect her again when I say that I'm the one who's hurt from your actions. Of course it feels great. You're not anywhere around. You don't have to face anything. You don't have to deal with the reality that we have to face every single day.
Is that what you're running from, that reality?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Well, you're lucky. Good job. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you don't have to live this life. I'm happy that you could just get high and forget about it. Thanks. I have to sit here and be miserable by myself. You're a great sister.
So what is the reality she's running from? What do they hate you for?
Everybody hates us in town because of old people that she hooked up with and started doing drugs, and it's her fault, which means it's my fault because I'm her sister, which means it's her fault because she's her mother. It doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't even matter what the circumstances are. Everyone just looks at her as a failure, and it reflects on us as if we did something wrong, that we live in the same exact house that everybody's who's making fun of us live in, probably nicer. Everybody's parents work. We all grew up the same exact way. Nobody's different. She just does drugs. That doesn't make our family different or bad, or people look at us like there's something wrong with us, like we're so crazy and we're so weird. Like, that's not the case. That's not it. It's just, I don't know what it is. I wish I did.
Well, let's take a break because Nikki's fiance, Jesse, says they'll be good parents. They'll have this baby and that Nikki's carrying, and they'll be good parents. So let's meet him next, and we'll hear about their parenting plan and see what he has to say.
When I first met Jesse, he did not use drugs, and now he does. When Jesse started using, it made me feel guilty, made me feel responsible.
I still feel like better off with Nikki, because if I wasn't with her, I don't know what I would be doing.
Well, we're out of time today. So far, we've heard how Nikki went from being captain of the cheerleading squad to being 8 months pregnant, living in a van, and shooting up heroin 5 to 6 times a day. But it gets worse. Tune in tomorrow to find out how Nikki is paying for her drugs and how she plans to raise a child while homeless. Plus, how does Nikki's fiance, Jesse, justify his part in all of this? We're going to ask him because he's going to be here tomorrow. Take a look. You're not going to want to miss a second of that. We'll see you tomorrow.